Hi everyone. Today we are going to still continue talking about the topics in this book, and there are really a lot of the good points about this book. And well, the first point I'm going to see is it's kind of surprising because we just learned that from our course, and now I'm saying there are better ways to do that. Okay, what's that? Well, that is use list comprehensions instead of map and filter. Okay, well, and remember in our last lecture, we made one kind of strong argument. If we say if there are multiple ways to do the same thing, well, there should be only one correct way. Okay, well, this is the purpose of the coding convention. Well, even though we have a lot of the flexibility to do things in different way, there should be a preferred way. And if you are in industry for a long time, and then you will see what way is really the correct way. Okay, so let's see why we want to use list comprehension instead of the map or filter. Okay, so let's do a very quick review on what is list comprehension. List comprehension is kind of a special thing in Python, and it's kind of handy to use. And for example, if we have a list and then we want to square all the values, and of course you can do the basic Python iteration way, but now we have another way to do that, and that is, well, square brackets beginning at the end, and then x powers 2 for x in a. Okay, so square brackets, and inside it is just a kind of an iteration in one line of code, right? And then we got all the values squared. Well, and can this be done in different other ways? And of course, and remember we have learned the lambda function. We can map a lambda function to all the members in this sequence as well. So we can do that with a map. And with a map, and there are two parameters. The first one is a function, and the second one is how is the target sequence. We want to map this function onto all the members, right? So let's see this lambda function. This function is we take a parameter x, we want to return x squared. Okay, and then by understanding this lambda function, the next part we want to do a map. So this map, we are mapping this lambda function to the sequence of the a. So it does exactly the same thing. And now I want to challenge you guys and see if you want to read this line of code and then compare the time in reading this line of code. And do you feel there's any difference? Or which one is a little bit easier to read? And probably you're going to agree with me that the first version, this version, is much easier to read. Why? Because square bracket, and then inside of this pair of the square bracket, we simply need to read from the left side to the right side, and then we got the idea of how this list comprehension work, right? However, for the map version, it is visually noisy because this is my personal habit, but usually I have to highlight the lambda function, read the lambda function, get an idea, and then I go outside, and then I see the map part. So, well, this process is going to be a little bit annoying to me because I have to grab one piece of the information, which is the lambda function, before I can even see the big picture. Okay, well, and how about the next one? Well, we want to get the squares only for the even values. Okay, can we still do that? And the answer is yes, we can. So we still have the x squared for x in a. However, can also add a condition. So if x percent 2 equals to 0. Well, and again, well, I want to make this argument. Inside this square bracket, you simply want to read this line of the code from left side to right side, and ta-da, you got exactly what this line of the code means. So isn't that cool? right? And well, if you want to do that with a lambda function, and this is kind of annoying because we have to do two steps. Number one, we have to filter out some of the values. So we have to do a filter. So we are applying a lambda function, and so that we filter out all the odd values, we keep only the even values. And we want to apply the lambda function to the filtered even values. So we are doing two lambda functions, and we are combining the filter with the map. Oh boy, this line of the code, even it does exactly the same thing. Well, this version is really much harder to read. And if I end up with writing this line of the code, probably I'm going to just turn to the basic Python coding, and I code that with 5 or 10 lines of code. Well, because this version is super hard to read. Okay, well, the next thing, this is really uncommon. Well, I see that from this book, and before seeing that, I don't even know it exists. Well, that is, if you want to do the stat comprehension or dictionary comprehension, they are also supported in Python. Okay, say we have a dictionary, and then we can do the rank and the name. So well, the for name and the rank in the chili rank dot items. So this is the dictionary, and then by doing the dictionary dot items, and we are gonna get a bunch of the key value pairs, and then we are visiting the key value pairs by doing the name and the rank. And what are we putting into the dictionary? We are just reversing the name and the rank. So, well, before we have the ghost as 1 and habanero as 2 and caney as 3. Well, now we are reversing them, so we are putting the keys as the values and the values as keys. And by the way, those are probably the hottest or the spiciest chilies on the earth. And I don't know what kind of the spicy chili you have tried, or spicy sauces you have tried. I have been to Mexico once, and well, in a Mexico restaurant in a small town. Well, I asked the waiter asked me what kind of salsa do I want, and then I say, okay, give me something special. And that waiter brought me a small cup of salsa and said, this is special, but you want to be careful. This is super spicy. And I was not, I didn't pay enough respect to Mexican spicy, because I know Chinese spicy, I know Korean spicy, I know American spicy and Korean spicy, and I think, okay, they are fine. I can try that. So I tried this super spicy special salsa, and then my tongue was numb for the next 5 hours probably. So that was the spiciest thing I have tried. Okay, well, let's come back. Well, if I want to do a comprehension, but now if I'm using the curly braces here, so for name in the rank dictionary dot values, so I'm trying to process the values of this dictionary, and then I'm trying to get the length of the names, and after that I'm not putting that into a square bracket, so I'm not trying to do a comprehension to produce a list. Now I'm doing a comprehension to produce a set, because I'm using the curly braces. So for the list comprehension, it's kind of quite common. And well, there are also dictionary comprehension and the set comprehension as well. Okay, so well, let's move on and try to do this exercise. Well, for each of the value, and then I want to take them as the radius, and I want to do two different ways to produce using the radius to produce the size of the circle. So try to do that, number one with the map and then lambda function, and number two with list comprehension. And I will continue in the next video.